So these firms had assets, right?
Yes.
What's happened to the liquidation of their assets?
So that's also progressing. Unfortunately, the firms that we obtained liquidation orders for were the smaller firms,
Okay.
which were not necessarily as small, so the asset base was actually quite small. That's why you're seeing the disparity, the 3 billion against the 5 billion. But we progressed on the liquidation. About 55 million cedis has been recovered so far.
55 million cedis?
Yes.
And how many firms are we talking about?
So this is
34.
the 34 firms. Yes.
34 firms have been liquidated. They've had creditor meetings, but 5 have liquidation orders, but they are yet to have creditor meetings.
Okay. And from these 34, the amount, realized from their asset is 55 million.
So far.
So far.
Liquidation processes obviously take a while, and that was the decision. That's what informed us to implement this bailout. Because if you had to wait for liquidation, people may be waiting 3 years, 4 years before they're actually able to obtain proceeds to be able to be paid. So the process itself is run by the Registrar General, and what she does is she goes after the actual assets of the company. If it's landed property, if it is vehicles, if it is securities, all these have to be traced. Because these are investment firms, oftentimes they invest in financial securities. So if they are holding debt instruments from an SME, now we have to trace those SMEs, we have to find the business, and then recover the funds that were given to them. If it was an equity investment, then obviously you have to find a buyer of the underlying asset, dispose of it, value it, find a mechanism for disposing of it, and then you realize the proceeds from that disposal.
Okay. Now, in going through their books and everything, if you look at their assets, by way of estimation, how much would it be?
Well, at the point of the revocation, these firms were in distress. When we revoked them, the assets they had reported to us was about 8.1 billion.
Okay.
Out of this 8.1, about 5 billion was in SMEs and what we call commercial paper.
Okay.
The remaining 3 billion, about 2 billion or so were pension assets, which were really not the firm's own assets. So you might say that there was just about 1 billion that, give or take, you can say for sure these are fairly secure assets. But as I mentioned earlier, that total pot is only a portion of it that we are now dealing with. The rest are still going through the court processes. And those are the bigger ones. You talk about Black Shield, you talk about Frontline. Those are still going through we are still in court trying to sort out the liquidation modalities.
Let me get you.